So look at all these pieces that I'm gonna have to put together and form my front splitter. So now I get to shape and form them, take off all these little extra pieces, figure out where everything goes. They got them numbered, so like here's 4 and 3, and then I can look at the how it's printed and piece it together. So there's 19, 17. We're kind of putting close to bigger numbers. 13, 21. Yeah, so it prints out like all like this, and then we got to, like I said, piece it together. 18. So here's like 19 and 18. So that's. Let's see here. It looks like something like that. So this is gonna be fun. I gotta piece it together and glue it. Figure out where they all go. 14, 13, here's 1. Let's see, where's this one? It's either 6 or 9. And I got 5 more pieces that still need to be printed. But we could start kind of putting it together and go from there. So here's 1, here's 2. Alright. So see, there's like 1, 2 here, so here's the first pieces here. Okay. And no, that's not it. Hello, how are you? Say what? Fixing it up. Yeah, I've been working on it for 2 years now. Well, I'm modifying it. I'm making it more for like racing. Yeah. Yep, takes forever. Have a good one. Okay, so where was I? Okay, so I gotta figure out like all these pieces, which ones I'm missing here. 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 5, 7. So you can see that's gonna be the bottom splitter. Piecing it together and gluing it, hot soldering it there. Okay, we'll clean it up a little bit and come back. Alright, now that I got the soldering gun nice and hot, we're just gonna kind of piece it together. We'll get this front section first. We're just gonna melt it real quick together. Kind of went off a little bit off the line. Okay. So it's kind of like welding. I'm going to spot weld. Come up here. And try to get it. Go. That holds, and then I'll go all the way down the line. Maybe let's try this way. Remember, I'm going to come back. I'm going to put a layer of fiberglass over this, so it's not going to have to be exact. All right. Flip it over and do the inside. Might have to get a, let's see if I can just get this tip in there. So the reason I'm doing it this way is because it's such a thin piece. It's like almost impossible to glue. So we're just going to make that connection with this just by melting it together. Okay, so one thing I'm learning is do one side and let it completely cool before you flip it over and do the other side, because it'll harden up. You know, let it harden up first, because if you go and do the other side then at the same time when it's still kind of flimsy, the whole thing's kind of flimsy, and I just don't like the feel of it being that flimsy. So I'm going to finish up the other side of this, and then we'll be done with this section, and then I'm going to go and glue the bigger pieces. And those bigger pieces I have to shave off and cut a little bit to make them fit exactly right. Alright, I'll show you the close-up of it. You don't even have to press hard, you're just sliding it across. And you're just filling in that crack. Okay. I'm using that type of end. I don't know if you can see it, it's kind of blurry. So where it just kind of looks like a flat blade screwdriver end. I'm just going flat across it. Just take your time. Just a little bit right there. Alright. And like I said, just let it sit for just a few minutes. All it takes is like 2 minutes. So just let it sit, and then you'll be able to handle it. Ah. So I noticed something. I screwed up. I put this on backwards. This needs to be flipped around. So let's see. See, it's on there now. So let's go ahead. Oh, silly me. Let's see if we can cut this. I put it on backwards. That's what I get. Oh, yeah, that'll work if I... That's what I get for not paying attention. One of the neighborhood kids stopped by for just a second. He was checking out the car. He got me turned around a little bit. All right. Too funny. Silly me. It you can see how hard and tough that is. Oh darn, see, it's supposed to go that way. Darn it, darn it, darn it. And that, yeah. Oh well, luckily I caught it before I got too far. Alright, there we go. So now we fixed it. Alright, so now we'll move on to the bigger pieces. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to keep this, you know, the way I have it shaped. And then when I move the new pieces over, from the ground, I can just kind of add them, and keep things going in the direction they need to go. All right. So I'm missing this piece, and so it looks like I could do. These are done. I can glue these two together. Let's get the hot glue gun warmed up. This particular piece we can glue there, but we can't attach this one until we get this one. We can't do anything because they have these little notches here, and then of course I have to knock these notches out on this one, so because these notches will go inside here, so it's like a puzzle piece and you have to do it a certain way first or it's not going to connect together. Alright, so then the hot glue, set that right on top. Kind of press that glue out a little bit. Just let that sit, and then this excess glue, you just take the razor and cut it off, and that will be our piece for that. This one is going to be a little more trickier, so we're going to have to kind of glue it. If I can set something. If I could set it like that, have that end hanging off, that'd be the best. I don't think I have nothing high enough that'll sit that high though. If it's nice and flat, I wouldn't worry about it, but same thing there, so I'm going to glue that. See what I should have done? Should have laid it flat, and I should have glued this piece first to that. So this is a learning experience, okay? Alright, so I just took some styrofoam blocks and made like a little shelf to bring it up, and then glue that section together. So you can see this one's together. I'll grab my other razor here and slice it off. Don't want to cut my finger, but there we go. This side's fine. And then you can also go over it and, you know, use the hot iron if you want to weld it up and make it even a little bit stronger. Okay, so there's all that. And so this is kind of where I'm going to end on this. glue's still a little warm. But anyway, we'll end off on this, and I'll finish up the rest. That's kind of my tutorial for this, and I'll come back and show you. So I want to show something. So this little piece kind of broke off. It's not that big of a deal, but see, the whole thing's hollow. And so that's what's making this lightweight. That's not a solid piece of plastic. So the inside is hollow. I mean, it has a little structure in them, but for the most part, that's what makes it so lightweight, is there's a lot of just air and in between. So that is a perfect use of this, you know. And just kind of wanted to show that, you know, in case anybody's never 3D printed. So yeah, so it's just empty in there. Okay, so I found out that doing the bigger pieces first, and then we move over to the soldering iron to do the smaller pieces, seem to be easier. That way you're not holding the flimsy stuff up against the big stuff. So anyway, these are the pieces I got done. I'll kind of show you. I had to wait for those other 5 pieces, but that's basically what I got done so far. So I got four pieces, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I definitely need to wait for that one, and then these pieces here, and I can put it all together. I can put the rest of the wing coming this way done, and that's what I'm gonna do. Might as well finish up that one wing. And so now we're going to go back to the soldering. Okay, so I'm just waiting for those last 5 pieces. These are all glued. I got them in 4 sections. I got 1, 2, 3, and 4. I don't want to combine any because I need that middle piece for sure to put all of these pieces together. So I'm missing that center piece. And then the ones on the side I can deal with later. So there you go. That's going to be my little front splitter with a little diffuser, you know, kick-ups. And you know, this is, I'll test fit it. I'll take this section and kind of test fit it because I'm sure I'm going to have to adjust it a little bit. I might have to, once I get it up in there, because I might hit the suspension just a little bit. I don't have to reprint any of this. I'm just going to cut out a section and then reform it, because this plastic's really easy to work with, and it'll just take 3 seconds with a die grinder, you know. I think it's going to be probably in that little bit of an arch right there, maybe. We'll see. All right, I'm going to leave off right there. And this one, when I went to redesign it the second time, I must have tweaked it in some different way or something, because it's not quite fitting right, so I had to take it back in and readjust it. This fits pretty good, and I really like how that, see, it's just a little bit tight on that end, but I really like how that's coming straight down with that, you know, with that license plate and everything. Just looks like it's part of the car. That looks really good right there. The problem is this, when I tried gluing it and everything, that's why I tore it apart. I glued it, but this is bulging right through here. So I had to take, on the computer, take that down. And then also the angle going back to my my cross member there, it was too flat. I must have tweaked it, like I said, somehow. So I tweaked it back up, and we'll probably make another test piece of these. And then on this section, kind of the same thing. It's still a little, the shape is just off. So like I said, I must have tweaked it somehow. And then on the computer, I built this. I built that upside down. This needs to be turned around upside down the other way. So these were all test pieces anyway. So this one's a little bit harder because it's not nice and, you know, straight and flat. So I am trying to get the angles just right, you know, or a little bit closer anyway on this one. You know, because it does come in just a little bit, so it's not straight and flat. So we have to work on this a little bit more. You know, but I'll do that on the computer, and then we'll print up another test piece. We'll test sections and see how close we are, and we might just have to do. I'm hoping one more test piece or test pieces, and it'll be close enough to where, you know, I'll be able to fiberglass it and, you know, do my work, my handiwork there, and get it up on there, and you know, go from there. Okay, so, and then with this, I'll have to figure out, once I get it test piece, you know, or tested up in there and seeing how I want it exactly, then I'm gonna drill holes, you know, along through here, and then drill them through the front splitter, and then start mounting it, see how it mounts, get it all mounted, and then after all the test pieces are worked out, then I'll go and fiberglass it, make it nice and sturdy and strong, throw it back on the car, and that piece will be done. So you can see how the splitter is going to work. So these little pockets right here, it's at a 12-degree angle, and that's all you really need, just to scoop that air and bring down that downforce. So I got one right here that goes behind, mainly behind the tire. This one's going to kind of push it out before it hits the tire, and then when the air comes through, it's going to hit through here, and of course it'll have more resistance through here. So what it's going to do is it's going to push the air through here and then out towards the back of the wheel well, or middle of the wheel well. So that'll, I mean, you just need minute. You don't need to go extreme, like a lot of, like you see a lot of cars do. You know, if you go too extreme, it just diffuses the air, or not diffuses, makes vortices in the air. And I mean, this isn't test proven or anything. It's not run through an air simulation or anything like that. But you see what I'm getting at just by eyeballing it. But some people really get crazy with their aero, and so I'm just trying to keep it as subtle as I can. Okay, and anything will help with that, especially with the front, because the front on these C3s, they lift up. They like to lift up a lot in the front, and so any little bit that I can get to help me bring that down, that front end, from going up higher, you know, I'm gonna shoot for. You know, I might take it out racing a few times, you know, to the track or something like that. I'm not gonna go crazy with this, because it's gonna be more of a driver. But like I said, I have a lead foot, and I kind of want to go. I want to see how fast, little by little, I can get it up to where it feels safe and sturdy. The aero will help a lot. When I eventually get around to the suspension's probably going to help way more than the aero. You know, but the aero and all the body work will be done, and then the suspension will come later. That's all money right there. So anyway, all right, I'm leaving off here. I'll see you guys next time.